Hey, today we're going to be doing an animated book review of The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. Now, Procter & Gamble was looking for a chemical that could eliminate bad odors. And a scientist found this chemical, and it was called hydroxypropyl beta-cyclodextrin. And what he found was that he actually spilled a little bit of it on his shirt, and when he went home, his wife had thought that he stopped smoking, which is really cool. So, this hydroxypropyl beta-cyclodextrin has been used. It is actually marketed as Febreze nowadays. But at the very beginning of this product stage, they could not get it to sell, and after analysis of a few buyers, they realized that the people who needed it were actually desensitized to the smell. People who are around cats a lot are generally immune to the smell of cat urine. People who smoke usually can't smell their own cigarette smoke on their coats. So after the analysis and watching thousands of hours of people perform these habits of spraying Febreze, or what was to become a Febreze, they found that people didn't really spray it just to spray it. They sprayed it as like a little reward, and they found that a lot of mothers, after their children went to school, would make the bed, and then after making the bed, they would spray it on the bed. So to try to have this happen more often, what they did is they added a little citrus smell to the spray because they knew consumers wanted something that smelled as nice as it looked. And after involving this new citrus scent into the product, sales doubled in over 2 months. And after some research and analysis by a few psychologists, what they realized is that habits are made up of 3 parts. The first is the cue. And the cue was when the kids left for school. The mothers would walk in and make the beds. And the routine is the middle part of the habit, which is actually making the bed. And then there's the third part, which is the reward. And this would be like spraying the Febreze and getting the little scent. And this happens all the time. Smokers do this. The cue would be a specific time of day when they go on break. The routine would be smoking a cigarette, and the reward would be the nicotine rush or the endorphin rush and the feeling of enjoyment. And they did a few tests with mice of this habit loop. And what they found was it works the exact same way. After running mice through a maze to find the cheese, they started realizing that the mice would create habits. And at the very beginning, the brain activity would spike when the mice got to the reward, the piece of cheese. But after 200 or 300 different runs of the same maze, they realized that the cue, which was a little gate clicking open that the mice could run through, they realized that the brain activity actually started spiking. The brain activity would spike during the cue as opposed to the reward. And this is what creates a craving, that as soon as it becomes break time, smokers want a cigarette. Or as soon as you get a notification on your phone, you want to check it. And if you're wanting to learn how to stop smoking, Stephen Duhigg gives a little trick. He says that old habits are really hard to get rid of. In fact, you cannot get rid of a habit forever. There is still going to be the cue, which is the time of day that you smoke. There's still going to be the routine, which is smoking, and there's still going to be the reward. But what you can do is you can change the routine. And I recommend changing from smoking to eating a little bit of candy. Now this can still have negative effects, but it would still activate the same parts of your brain, especially if you're still involving your hands in your mouth. He says at the end of the book, the habits are created in the basal ganglia to save energy, to create processes in our brain that would normally take a lot of thought and energy to do automatically, like backing out of your driveway. He says that in order to modify old habits, all you have to do is change the routine. But if you're going to start a new habit, you need to add cues before and rewards after to keep the habit going. I hope you found this video interesting and helpful. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more.